Howdy doody gamers. Welcome back to Retrocade. You know those games where you don't just play as one hero, but get to switch things up with a whole squad of awesome characters? Whether it's swapping between a band of misfits, or jumping into the shoes of wildly different heroes. So buckle up, hit that like button, and let's jump into the madness. Today, we're diving into something epic, the top 12 games with multiple protagonists. By the way, we're not going to include obvious games that have been covered a million times. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. The sibling rivalry between Jacob and Evie Fry is at the heart of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Set in Victorian London, Jacob is the brash, headstrong assassin who loves to fight, while Evie is all about stealth and strategy. The game lets you switch between them to tackle missions in different ways. The industrial-era London setting is beautifully realized, and the game's focus on gang warfare and historical figures, like Charles Dickens and Alexander Graham Bell, makes it stand out in the series.
I had to find out what was outside.
Detroit. Become human. In a futuristic Detroit where androids are starting to develop emotions, you control 3 characters who represent different aspects of the android uprising. Connor is a by-the-book detective who starts questioning his role. Kara is a domestic servant trying to protect a young girl. And Marcus is the leader of a revolution. The game is all about choices, with branching paths and multiple endings. Each protagonist's story raises deep questions about free will, human rights, and what it means to be alive, all set against a backdrop of stunning visuals and emotionally charged moments.
Obey them anymore.
Get away!
There's someone who can help you.
I can't keep running away.
Resident Evil 6. While Resident Evil 6 leans heavily into action, it still offers variety with its 4 protagonists, each with their own campaign. Leon's story harkens back to survival horror. Chris's is a full-on action shooter, and Jake's introduces some fun new gameplay mechanics. Ada's campaign ties it all together with her trademark mystery and espionage. The fast-paced, explosive set pieces make it feel more like a Hollywood blockbuster than a horror game. But the variety in gameplay styles and intersecting storylines keep things interesting.
Better off as a mercenary.
Not gonna let anything happen.
Yakuza 4. Imagine experiencing Tokyo's criminal underworld from 4 different perspectives, switching between the stoic series' regular Kazuma Kiryu and 3 new characters. Each has their own fighting style and story arc, and you'll unravel a web of conspiracies and drama. It's a wild blend of serious crime drama and goofy side quests that the Yakuza series is famous for.
You gotta be kidding me.
Tales of Xillia. Tales of Xillia gives you the option to play as either Jude, a medical student with a knack for martial arts, or Milla, a mysterious spirit guide. Their paths intertwine in an action-packed JRPG filled with fast-paced combat and a surprisingly deep narrative about the balance of power between humans and spirits. The dynamic combat system, where you link attacks with your allies, is fluid and flashy, making every battle feel epic.
Spirits protecting humans. Now that is quite an interesting tale.
Humans strive to be.
Don't Starve Together. This multiplayer survival game is quirky, weird, and often hilarious. If you enjoy constantly teetering on the brink of death, each character has unique abilities that either help or hinder your team, like Willow, who's immune to fire damage but a bit of a pyromaniac, or Wendy, who's haunted by her ghost sister. The game's eerie Tim Burton-esque art style and ever-changing world make every playthrough feel different, whether you're crafting, fighting monsters, or trying not to starve, which happens a lot.
For example, Ophelia can guide...
Octopath Traveler II. Octopath Traveler II sticks to what made the original great, but refines it even more. With 8 protagonists, each with their own story and gameplay quirks, the game feels like 8 different RPGs rolled into one. Whether you're a scholar investigating ancient mysteries or a merchant on an epic journey, the HD 2D graphics are stunning, and the turn-based combat is deep. The blend of old-school RPG mechanics with modern flair makes this a love letter to classic RPGs with plenty of new twists.
Take a closer look. Exploit your foe's weaknesses to shatter their defenses. This is the break system.
Heavy Rain. If you love interactive stories where your choices matter, Heavy Rain is a must-play. The narrative focuses on the hunt for the origami killer, and you control 4 characters, all with their own perspectives on the case. Each decision you make, whether it's in a quick-time event or during dialogue, affects the outcome, with multiple endings based on your choices. It's a tense, emotional ride with some heart-wrenching moments, particularly around Ethan's struggle as a father trying to save his kidnapped son.
Every available man to finding Ethan Mars. To keep an eye on the train stations, the airports, the bus terminal. I want every cop in the city on his ass, and if he moves...
We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending
NieR
spiral of
Automata.
life and death.
NieR Automata is part hack and slash, part philosophical think piece. As 2B, a cold but badass android, you're sent to fight an army of machines. But it's not long before the game flips everything on its head, exploring deep themes of consciousness, identity, and purpose. Then you play as 9S, who hacks into enemies and reveals more layers of the story. Finally, A2 brings yet another shift in tone and gameplay. The game makes you play through multiple endings, each revealing new aspects of the story, turning what could be a simple sci-fi action game into an existential masterpiece.
Perhaps we're not so different after all. To me! We better finish this quick!
Let's all agree to meet back at the monastery exactly 5 years.
Fire Emblem, 3 Houses. At first, you're just a teacher leading a bunch of students through battles, but then the game throws a time skip at you, and suddenly your students are full-fledged warriors fighting in a civil war. Each house leader, Edelgard, Dimitri, or Claude, has their own unique story and motives, and choosing which one to side with changes everything. The tactical combat is deep, and the bonds you build with your students and watching them grow into hardened warriors make every victory and loss feel personal.
Cycle of the strong trampling the weak. So the first.
The Grey Warden escaped.
Dragon Age Origins. Your journey in Dragon Age starts with choosing one of several backgrounds that completely change your experience. Whether you're a noble, a mage, or a rogue elf, your choices affect how the world sees you, and the characters you meet along the way react accordingly. It's packed with rich lore, incredible companions like the snarky witch Morrigan, and the charming knight Alistair, and some of the toughest moral decisions in RPG history. Oh, and don't forget, your choices can literally reshape the future of the entire kingdom.
You must gather allies.
Come, adventurer, to an RPG unlike
Divinity Original Sin 2. This is the RPG where you can talk to animals, teleport enemies into lava, or even possess corpses to get out of sticky situations. With a host of pre-made characters like the undead scholar Fane or the demon-possessed musician Los, each with their own backstory, you can mix and match party members for different outcomes. The freedom is overwhelming in the best way possible. Whether you want to burn a whole town down, accidentally of course, or solve problems diplomatically, the choice is yours. The deep combat system and branching narratives make every playthrough feel fresh and different.
Your personality and background will determine your dialogue choices, quests, and challenges as you journey to replace the lost.
Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.